Welcome, everyone, to the 9th episode of the All Stuff No Fluff podcast, a show where we talk with friends about the games and stuff we like on a monthly basis. So, happy 22, you guys. We made it through another year, and like I said during last year's January podcast, what a year it's been, again! Surely a wild ride in a lot of ways, to say the least, but despite all of it, we're all here, we made it, and of course, we have a whole year full of exciting possibilities for video games and stuff like that. But we're not going to talk about that just yet. Instead, I'd like to turn our attention over to our lovely panel of folks that are joining us for today's episode. Thank you guys for helping me kick off the new year with the first episode of 2022. We've got a few familiar faces, of course. We've got Sam.
Hi.
We've got Alex.
Hello.
And we've got Amanda.
Hey, hey.
But we've actually also got a couple of new faces here. So before we get into things, Christine, why don't you go ahead and kick us off here? Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're all about, stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, my name is Christine, but I go by GandaKris on the internet. I make a lot of DIYs for Nintendo, Square Enix, Pokemon, and I'm a Nintendo brand ambassador along with Sam. Yeah, I'm just really happy to be here with you guys and talk video games. So thank you for having me.
Woo! Yeah, she does really cool stuff. I love your DIYs. The most recent one, that Hisuian Voltorb, is so cute.
Oh, thank you.
Agreed.
Love it. But she's not the only new guest that we have here this episode. We've also got Tris. Go ahead. Give us a little bit of a rundown. Tell us about yourself, what you're all about, that kind of thing.
Ahoy! Well, I had to do that, of course. I'm Tris. I am a news and featured editor, or I guess game journalist over at Game Explain, where I pretty much just do a ton of content for Nintendo. I mean, I love Mario, love Zelda, all that stuff. It pretty much daily basis for me is everything Nintendo. So getting a chance to talk about that for fun is always really great. So yeah, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no worries. And you just dropped your, what was it? The Kirby analysis,
yes,
is that right?
Yes.
Right before we started recording?
Yeah, like half an hour ago, my week-long project of analyzing the latest Kirby trailer just came out.
I gotta watch that still.
Perfect. Yeah, I gotta go check that out
Gotta
later.
go watch it.
These people are all amazing, obviously, and I'll leave their links in the description and stuff below. But we're not here to talk about how much I love you guys. We're here to talk about video games. So anyway, just as 2021 seemed to be the year of anniversaries for Nintendo, 2022 seems to be the year of sequels. Before we get into our predictions and all that stuff, let's go ahead and just go over what we already know so far for 2022. So, in case you need a little bit of a refresher, on the calendar so far, we've got Pokemon Legends Arceus, which comes out January 28th, which, if my computer's not lying to me, that's in 10 days.
Oh, gosh.
After that, we've also got Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which comes out on March 25th, which is a little bit like 2 months later or so.
Oh, that's my husband's birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday to him.
My husband.
And then after Kirby, we've got a really long gap because going from March all the way to December 21st comes the Super Mario Brothers movie, which I honestly totally forgot about. I forgot that it was coming out. I forgot that there was a release date for it.
All right.
And then the rest of the year, we've got a couple of titles that are to be announced. So we've got Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope coming out sometime this year, Bayonetta 3 coming out sometime this year, Splatoon 3 coming out sometime this year, and Breath of the Wild 2 coming out sometime this year. So as I said, a lot of sequels. Now, out of all those and knowing what we know, Sam, why don't you go ahead and start us off here? What are your general thoughts about this lineup, and what are you the most excited to see come this year, coming so far?
I think it's a pretty strong lineup. We've got a lot of staple Nintendo stuff. We haven't seen solid Kirby in a hot minute, so that's pretty exciting. But for me, I'm mostly excited for Breath of the Wild 2. Zelda, or more Zelda.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to say the least. Although, when was the last Kirby game we got? Because Star Allies was the last one, no?
That was the last main Kirby we got, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was in 2018? Is that right?
Yeah, 2018, I believe.
Okay, so it's been about 4 years. Ooh, what the? That's weird. What the heck?
You know, time is a weird soup. It's
I
I can't explain it.
Oh my god, this is gonna be the whole podcast. Just me just being blown away by how time has passed.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
Christine, general thoughts. What are you most excited about? That kind of stuff.
For some odd reason, I just want to know like how the Super Mario Bros. Movie is gonna go, because I've been watching a lot of movies recently, so I'm just interested to see how the voice is gonna go for Bowser, especially like Jack Black doing it too. I can't imagine like them performing and stuff, so I'm pretty excited for that. If anything, everything else is really really cool, but I mean, now we have a Super Mario Bros. Movie, which is even more exciting, tied in with like Nintendo World, which I think is
I can't
going
wait.
to, I think, open in the summer or springtime. I don't remember, but
I think they pushed it back.
no,
it-
don't
oh,
say that.
Where though?
I believe she's
Because-
right.
Hold on, because they're
Oh,
opening it
no.
also in Hollywood. Are you guys talking about the?
I thought it was
Hollywood
opening
one.
soon in Hollywood, and I looked it up literally today, and I saw a 2025 date, and I was like, "What?"
Oh.
Well,
What?
because I think at least in Orlando, it's part of their third gate, which
Yeah,
I
that's
think
not
that whole
coming for a
product
long
got
time.
like delayed really bad.
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
Hollywood's gonna get it first.
Yeah, it was supposed to be pretty soon because they were coming along pretty strong, but I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe I just read a bad article earlier today because I would love for it to come this year. I'm down. I'm going to California.
Yeah, we're all gonna go
Yeah,
to California.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Meet
we'll
up
do
at-
an episode from there.
Meet
We'll all
up at
there.
Universal Win.
yeah.
Yeah, seriously. You know, it's funny that you brought up the Mario Brothers movie too, because I looked it up before we started recording today, and the last Mario Brothers movie, the one that I can think of in my head when I think Mario Brothers movie, that released in 1993.
Ooh.
So from that to this, it's been close to almost 30 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
It's like
29.
29. Yeah,
Almost.
If I can math.
Yeah.
a lot of things have changed since then. Mario himself has changed a lot since then.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
He
now he's
grew
really
into Chris
interesting to
Pratt.
see.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
We
Yeah.
have yet to hear his voice too, which is
Yeah, I can't wait for that
another
first
thing.
trailer. It's gonna be When are we gonna get a trailer?
I'm scared.
That's a
I
good
am
point.
too.
When are we gonna get a trailer?
Probably summer.
Yeah, that's what
They're
I'm thinking.
gonna be.
Summer's a good one. Amanda, general thoughts? What are you most excited about?
I am definitely excited about Breath of the Wild 2, of course, being the Zelda person I am.
Yeah.
I'm also really excited for Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Ooh.
It just looks really neat, and I love Pokemon. I've been watching it, since I've been basically stuck in bed the last like month and a half. All I've been doing is just watching Pokemon.
This doesn't surprise
That's so
me.
sad sounding, but
This
also
doesn't
amazing.
surprise me at in the least.
Exactly. I feel like it's like if I have to be stuck in bed for like a month and a half, then sure, I'm gonna watch Pokemon the whole time.
God forbid work on our
For sure.
backlogs.
Oh, no.
That's the thing is all these beds have messed my head up so much I can't really play much of anything
Oh,
because like
that's
I get
annoying.
too overwhelmed.
That's fair.
So I can just do simple stuff like Animal Crossing and that's it.
Sounds relaxing at least.
Exactly.
Tris, general thoughts. What are you most excited about?
See, it's really funny because I'm torn between the Super Mario Bros. Movie and Breath of the Wild 2, the things that we've been talking most about. But I guess that goes to show because they are the ones we're talking most about. Because I mean, you guys raised really good points about like the Mario movie, for example, of like outside of knowing that Jack Black is Bowser and Chris Pratt is Mario, we don't know anything about it. And
I think
it's,
we can get a good idea based on who they've cast, though.
hopefully
Yeah.
at least, because I almost expect they're really going to try to pull out all the stops for this movie because of how successful the Sonic movie was. That's like a big competition for them now, kind of, where they're at least the bar has been raised for good video game movies. Now we need to see Nintendo reach that bar that the Sonic movie set.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
I think-
Especially since Detective Pikachu was
That's what I was gonna say.
That was
I
so
love
good.
Detective Pikachu.
I think between Sonic and Detective Pikachu, that's kind of what they're aiming for at this
Yeah.
point.
I think so too.
I cannot wait to see Jack Black though as Bowser. He's gonna absolutely kill it.
Yeah, Jack Black. Here's the thing. I think a lot of their casting choices, I think, will inform it. Jack Black is perfect casting. Keegan-Michael Key is hysterical casting. The ones I'm very confused about: Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, because I cannot see Charlie Day outside of Always Sunny. And now I just expect at some point Luigi to go, excuse me, what's your spaghetti policy? And I don't know how I feel about that.
You mean you don't want Luigi talking about Pepe Sylvia going insane?
Unless they change Pepe Sylvia to Shy Guy or Waluigi, I don't know yet. And then Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, I don't.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
I just want to hear Donkey Kong have Seth Rogen's laugh. That's all I'm asking.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so cursed.
He's not even gonna talk. He's just gonna have the laugh.
That's all I want. That'd be great.
I don't know. Yeah, that movie's either gonna be really good or it's going to be a train wreck. And I honestly, it's a coin flip. It will be either one, no in between.
Either way, I'm there.
Either way, it'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
Like if it's a train wreck, it'll be fun to watch, and if it's good, then it'll be good.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because as you mentioned earlier, the like 1990s Mario movie is a fun train wreck. So we already know like bottom of the barrel what it could be like at worst.
It
could be worse. It could be Cats. It can't be worse than Cats.
You know what? That's true.
Oh,
that's
true.
That's true.
That's absolutely true.
And I say that as someone who's been in the show and went opening night.
Same.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I made that choice. It was worth it.
I didn't go opening night. I've just been in the show, and then I went to see it with Elias, who live tweeted it the whole time.
I mean, it's a great live tweet. It's a great live tweet.
Seriously.
Wow.
Alex, I think you're the only one that hasn't gone yet. What are you? General thoughts, most excited about?
General thoughts is over everything. Not gonna lie, I completely forgot that Legends Arceus was coming out this month. I completely blanked.
In 10 days.
Like I looked at it and went, "Oh God, what? This is happening already? Wild." Breath of the Wild 2 has to be the top of my list. I am a Zelda boy. I'm a Zelda boy through and through. You put a cut, you just like it just bleeds Zelda at this point. It's like, oh wow, look at all that Zelda.
Figures. The Zelda universe staff say Breath of the Wild 2.
Also because Breath of the
I
Wild
think
is
we would
giving
be
me
like
the most amount of
kicked off
stress.
the staff if we didn't say that.
Also because as someone that has to run the media team, Breath of the Wild 2 is going to give me the most amount of anxiety. Because that is a full
sense.
all hands on deck situation of oh god, we have to be ready for everything.
Seriously.
I thought Bayonetta also had a release date, or am I misremembering? I thought Bayonetta 3 had a release date.
Not a full date.
I don't believe so.
Oh, did it not?
It might have had the year for this year, but it didn't
whack.
have more than that.
Supposed. But I think aside from Breath of the Wild 2, honestly, yeah, the morbid curiosity about the Mario Brothers movie, just because of I remember my reaction to them basically spending 10 minutes announcing the trailer or just announcing the cast, and then just my mind going, why everything of all of this? And it's just
out
like
for 10 minutes.
Because it was just out of all the people, huh? It was just all those choices. Kirby though looks really cool. I am excited to see where that goes. I don't know if I'll pick it up day one because of the amount of stuff I have on my plate, but yeah. But yeah, those two I think are my big ones.
Nice.
Yeah, Zelda is really huge too. To have someone not on the Zelda universe team say something on Zelda to help out here a little.
Yeah, what the heck?
I'm also someone who absolutely loves Zelda. That's my favorite video game series, and it's so weird to think that Breath of the Wild 2 has been in development for at least as long as Breath of the Wild 1 was.
I mean, I think that'll be good because that means we're working hard on it and it's going to be a sign of quality.
Yeah, I hope so. It's just it's one of those when you saw they're making a sequel, everyone's assumption was, "Oh, cool. It'll be out sooner because they're going to get to use a lot of things from the first game."
Yeah,
and
that was my
guess. and to now see this timeline of how long it's been, not to go all Zelda timeline on it, but it's fantastic the expectations people are getting for it, that I hope people don't burn themselves out on that
I think
and
also it's
set their
important to know
expectations way
that-
too high.
I will definitely set my expectations too high.
I think it's also
Fair
important to
warning.
note that like we're still in a pandemic.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
delays are inevitable because we're still in a Panera.
That's true.
Panini.
Sponsored
Right.
by Panera Bread. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh god.
I wish their soup is awesome.
They're pretty
had
good.
it for
Oh, that
lunch,
turkey chili,
anyway.
good stuff.
hmm I guess I'll go ahead and give my thoughts too, right?
Sure,
Yeah,
Mr.
go
Host.
for it.
What is your opinion, Mr. Stuff Jr.?
So, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I think this year actually holds a ton of promise, actually. And I know it's a pretty popular trend. I'm not one of these people, but I know it's a pretty popular trend at this point to compare every year of releases to 2017.
Mhm.
Since 2017 was just, gangbusters out the wazoo, But I think out of every year so far, since the Switch's release, 2022 seems to be the biggest competitor for that. Just off of what we know, we've got a Zelda that's coming, right? We've got a new Splatoon that's coming. A huge deviation for Pokemon with Legends Arceus. Mario is getting a movie for the first time since 1993. A brand new Kirby game that's going to be breaking the mold for its franchise. And that's just based off of what we know so far. So I think it's safe to say that 2022 is going to be most likely one of my favorite years in the Switch's life cycle, assuming that everything develops as it should and we see no delays or anything like that. And as far as what I'm most excited for, aside from Breath of the Wild 2, I think Splatoon 3 actually is sounding like it's going to be very promising.
Mhm.
Obviously, a lot of the other games we know about look really, really good, but I still feel like there's an air of mystery about Splatoon 3. And for as many hours as I put into 2, I just know that this next one is going to rock my socks off. Anyway, with all of that said, where does Nintendo go from here? Obviously, we've got a pretty good lineup of games so far, but we've still got Nintendo Directs to look forward to. E3 season obviously is in the summer. So let's roll out some predictions here, starting with you, Christine. Give us
Ooh.
1 to 2 predictions for things that we'll be seeing from Nintendo in 2022.
Really, truly, all I want is Metroid Prime.
Ooh.
Girl, don't we all?
Been waiting that for a while. So I really do hope that they have some sort of announcement during a Nintendo Direct, because the last game was just absolutely incredible. I loved it, but I can only imagine what Metroid Prime is going to be like, considering they had so much time to work on it. But you just never know. So if anything, I'm hoping that we get some sort of news on that game.
That's a good point because we've talked about Dread so much in the past, but I think it's really interesting that for 2 Metroid games, presumably in a row, there's some really interesting development history going on with Dread being as long as it was and Prime 4, which apparently had to have some sort of playable state, right? For them to
yeah.
see it, not like it, and then shift
Yep.
and pivot
Gears,
into some other
yeah.
direction,
When
right?
did they
So-
announce that change? Was that 2019?
Yes.
Think
so.
Yes.
Around then, yep.
Yes.
It had years
right.
of development before.
Yeah, it had
It
years of
moved.
development. So, in some Japanese meeting room, there was a playable demo of Metroid Prime.
Somewhere
And they
4
were like,
Where
no,
did it
this is
go?
not my Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, like that's just so interesting to me, and I'm sure that we'll likely never see that demo or playable thing
Oh,
if ever.
that would be so cool,
So,
though.
I
Somebody
would
would
have liked
be
to
documented
so
see
it.
the
cool.
room.
I
Just
mean,
Yeah.
to see
I would love to
their
see.
reactions.
I would love to see. I know Nintendo has brought their things to like GDC before, with like Breath of the Wild, for example. I would love if they did that with Metroid Prime 4 to show like what give us an early look at what it was like before they restarted it, and then what it's like then, and that whole process. Because they've only really done that with Zelda. I think they did it with Splatoon as well. I could be wrong there. They did something similar with Splatoon, but
Yeah, I
Metroid
think
deserves
so.
that.
Metroid for sure, especially with like Dread and like both of them are just equally as interesting
Yeah.
to me. I don't know. I'm a
Yeah.
huge guy into like loving to see the frame of mind that these developers put these games into, especially when the development time is that long. So That is a really interesting
Yeah.
pick. Metroid Prime 4. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, if it's been like what, 2 years since 2019? Well, wait.
They also said
No!
3.
Not the time again.
so they said last year before dropping the Dread trailer that they were still hard at work on it.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot when it comes to the
Progress, maybe.
like other stuff. So it's
Right.
kind of hard to say.
Yeah. Well, we don't even know how big Metroid Prime 4 is going to be, so it's anybody's guess as to when we'll see it from. But I would love for Christine to be right. I would love that, personally.
Add that to the lineup.
Yeah, seriously, throw that on there. Is that the only one you got?
I'm really excited for Pokemon Legends Arceus. I think it's because I've been making so many DIYs about it. And it's
Yeah.
just gotten me more excited the more details I see and the gameplay. And the fact that we get it in 10 days is just making me like so eager. I just literally want to sit down on an entire weekend and spend my time on that game and
Me
really
too.
dissect it. So especially since we've got, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pearl, and like now we're getting another assortment. Plus, honestly, I'm pretty happy with Pokemon as of recently because they even gave us Pokemon Snap, which is something I've dreamt of.
Me
and
too.
I'm pretty happy overall. I'm just, anticipating Pokemon Legends to be pretty good too.
Okay. Very nice. Tris,
Yes.
1 to 2 predictions for 2022. What do you think?
Well, 2022 is the 30th anniversary of the Mario Kart series. And
Oh.
I feel pretty
Oh,
confident
no.
it's
What?
finally time. It's
What?
finally time to see another one, is what I think.
Oh boy, opening this can of worms. Okay. Interesting.
So you've chosen
So-
violence.
Basically. I've got the blue shell and everything. Yeah, no.
Oh, you're the worst.
No, but in all honesty, I think Mario Kart games usually come out every like 3 to 4 years, but we had then the strangeness of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe releasing right when the Switch came out, like a month after in 2017. And we've had like a mobile game since then. We've had an outsourced like tech demo in Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, but we haven't had like another proper Mario Kart game or even a proper Mario Kart game made specifically for the Switch. And
That's true.
I think doing so during the 30th anniversary would be a fantastic way to do that. Now, realistically, what I actually have put down for predictions is I think there will just be some way to honor the 30th anniversary. And of course, they'll tease the fact that there may be a game, but we won't even get to see it.
Of course. Typical.
We'll just give you like, a shirt design or something.
We'll give you a Game & Watch themed Mario
Game and
Kart.
Watch. It's just gonna be a Game and Watch for every anniversary.
Oh,
we all have like
God.
50 Game and Watches.
And you know what the sad thing is? I'd buy it.
Yeah,
I would.
I would.
I'd be there for it.
I
I've
would
got
too.
both of them already. Let's just keep on going, Nintendo. Damn.
Keep them up.
Okay, so assuming that this holds any water,
Mhm.
what do you think would be in a new Mario Kart game?
So there have been...
Obviously, there was that.
Yeah, I was saying,
rumor,
yeah,
you know.
there have been those
You mean
rumors
a
going
twist?
around lately. Yeah, the twist. And then a week of Twitter trends of Mario Kart 9 versus Nintendo Kart. I
Yeah.
think realistically, if we got a new game, it would follow the path laid out by Mario Kart 8. Or 8 Deluxe, I guess, more specifically. So we'd see a Mario Kart game that's still mostly Mario, but has crossover elements. So like how we got Link and Animal Crossing and Splatoon as like DLC and Deluxe. I think we'll see that stuff added to like base game and DLC. So we'll see more of that stuff. Not an overwhelming amount, but like an amount to show that clearly looking to move in that direction beyond just Mario.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it'd be a great way to kind of help
Interesting.
promote their other releases as well.
That's true. This is becoming the like placeholder for Smash. Now that Smash is starting.
Well, that's
We're all
that's
just
the
craving.
danger. That's the dangerous mindset to get into, because then you get everyone hoping for the true Nintendo Kart with third-party characters and all that too, and that is a dangerous one to
I
fall
don't want
into.
it.
Don't do that.
I'm just imagining just all the Sora for Mario Kart campaign.
No.
Oh, I know somebody in this server that'd be very excited about that news.
Oh, you mean the guy who's
I
happening
would
to be
be.
streaming Kingdom Hearts right now?
Oh, that's
Are you?
Yeah, you're right.
Probably on the Switch to see how well it runs.
I
Yeah,
gotta
we
get
have to
those
have 'em on
demos
again.
That is
because I
really
don't
fun.
trust it.
For real. Okay, so I can buy into that Mario Kart with some crossover. That'd be cool. All right, and that's about all you got for predictions. I know it's really hard to predict for this year, at least for me.
The only other thing I had, and we already kind of touched upon it, was I think we'll first see the Mario movie trailer during the E3 time direct. That'll be when we
that's
first see
probably
the movie
solid.
trailer.
I think so too.
That
Yeah.
seems the timing would work for that. Yeah.
Hmm
That is going to be one of those break the internet kind of announcements.
I mean,
It's
Chris
either they're
Pratt
gonna-
was.
but it- it's either going to
Yeah.
be a good
It's
way or bad
definitely
way
got
break
the
the
pull.
internet. It
Yeah.
could go
Yeah,
either
even
way.
just the announcement.
It's just gonna break the internet.
Yeah.
Assume it's going to trend. If it's the Mario movie,
Yeah.
it's going because that's going to trend on all fronts, not just gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it
Yeah.
is. And it probably will do extremely well when it launches.
Yeah, because everyone loves
Definitely.
Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll buy 5 tickets
Me too.
and I'll go.
I'll
Why
just
I'm
buy out
annoyed
the
that
theater.
No one's, yeah, no, I'm just.
Yeah, I'll rent out the.
I don't
why
want
I'm
any
annoyed
kids in
that
my
I'm not
showing,
around
so-
you guys. Because I would go see it with all you, and then we would just yell at the screen and make fun of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I like those. I like those predictions. Amanda,
Yes.
what do you think? 1 to 2 predictions for things we'll be seeing from Nintendo in 2022. What do you think?
Okay. I definitely think we'll see. I think Mario Kart 9. I'm with you guys. I think one of the things that would be neat is I could see them doing like maybe a build your own course sort of thing if they wanted to go for
Ooh.
something new.
I like that.
That's awesome.
So I think that would be a neat idea.
Mario Kart
Hmm.
Maker.
Yeah, and because since there's sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. Still have got brain fog from all the meds. Since there's like been some popularity with like the building your own dungeon or levels, like with Mario Maker, and then like Link's Awakening, where you can kind of do like a
Kind of.
dungeon
Oh, yeah.
building,
Yeah.
kind of. Keyword being kind of.
Dungeon building.
I think it's
light.
showing. I think it's showing that people want to do something like that. So I could see that happening, and that being like the new gimmick for Mario Kart 9 to separate it from like 8 and 8 Deluxe, is to be like, why do I want to get this new one? It's like, well, you guys think you get to make your own path.
Mhm.
That's such a
Okay.
good
So that's
idea. Yeah.
It's a really good
agree.
idea.
I would love that. So
Correct
that's my biggest realistic prediction, and I could see maybe a new trailer for Metroid Prime.
That's 2
At
now.
least just a trailer.
hmm
Yeah.
And that'll probably happen around like E3 time.
E3 time. Okay, so that's how far is that from now? Like 4 or 5 months?
Like 5 months from now.
5, yeah, June.
It'd be 5 months because it is January.
It is January. Time is
Well, I will point out
tricky
it's
little
almost late
thing.
January, Alex.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Mr. Stuff Jr.
Correct me if I'm wrong though. I think didn't Mario Kart Live have some sort of like lay your own track and build your own course?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mario
but not in the
Kart-
same way.
Not the
Yeah,
same way,
because
though.
they had
Yeah.
like themed tracks and such, but you basically had to put down certain markers and drive the RC car through certain points to
Yeah.
essentially make the layout of the map. But that's
Yeah.
pretty different than what I think they would do in a proper like Mario Kart Maker.
Because if you're limited
Yeah.
to a like 10-foot by 10-foot room, like I am, that was not the most exciting part. But also, like the ability to share tracks with people would be a game changer for
Ooh,
Mario
yeah.
Kart.
That'd be so cool.
That would be
That
nice.
would be kind of interesting.
Let's go!
Make it happen. Hopefully, it's already
That would be
happening.
awesome. Kind of
Just
like
imagining
Mario
all
Maker.
the variations on Rainbow Road
Oh,
and how
yeah.
they will all
Yeah.
just be nightmares.
Wait, but that
I
would be so cool though. Because like one of the coolest things about Mario Maker, at least for me, is watching people just complete these really crazy,
Like, impossible, yeah.
levels. Seeing that in Mario Kart.
Yeah. I mean, you build
that
it in
would be
Mario
so
Kart, you have
cool.
to finish the like 2 or 3 laps to prove that it's viable, and then you can post it for the world, and you have these like ludicrous tracks that nobody can complete.
It's basically like
That
those
sounds
GTA
awesome.
challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Mario
yeah.
Kart. I mean, I could potentially see it. Oh.
I think
buy
it's
that.
very viable. Good one.
Here's hoping.
Interesting. There's a lot of Mario Kart talk here. Okay. I guess we just all got it on the brain from that rumor recently or something.
Maybe a little
Well,
bit.
it's just been so long since we've gotten like an actual new Mario Kart and not just a souped up version of the last one.
Yeah. We are
Do you guys
getting.
think it'll come to the Switch?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would. But we are also getting Chocobo Racing, aren't we? Too.
Oh, that's
Oh,
true.
I forgot about that. Finally.
Oh my gosh, that's a deep cut.
I can't.
Sorry,
do
it's just
Chocobo
racing in my brain. So I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, while I wait to
That's
do Chocobo
right.
Racing and Final Fantasy VII Remake Part whatever, do it on the Switch. Cool.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so Alex, 1 to 2. Let's hear it.
I don't know. It's really hard with Nintendo just in general because you can never truly figure out what they're doing. I am gonna
Honestly.
piggyback on the. I think we might get an update on Prime 4. I do not expect a release date or a window, but maybe just a provisional. Hey, here's what's going on with this. This is where we're probably gonna. If they have a release window, cool. I would like just to hear something on it because they have mentioned that, hey, we are still in development on it.
Mm.
I'm not gonna make Mario Kart my other major prediction. However, I do want to add that I think it would be really cool if they added the ability to play any track that's ever been in Mario Kart. They keep
Ooh.
like doing selections of like retro stuff. I'd like to be able to play every version of Rainbow Road.
The Everyone
Like,
Is
give
Here
me a-
trailer,
give me
except
a
Mario
pure-
Kart.
Yeah, give me a pure Rainbow Road.
Every track but
circuit.
Cheeseland.
Screw Cheeseland.
The pause.
No, yeah. Cheeseland, get out of here. But in terms of my other prediction, it's difficult because there's a lot of stuff I would love to see Nintendo do. There's still some stuff that could be ported to the Switch that haven't been ported. Stuff like the Wind Waker and Twilight
Wind
Princess
Waker.
HD
all I
ports
want.
Mhm.
would make a lot of sense. But it's the matter of, are they actually going to pull through on that? Because there's a lot of stuff that, like, last year I had a lot of predictions for, but either didn't really pan out for anything. It's I don't know, because I feel like Prime is, like, the real major one. I don't know if I have any other major predictions aside from that.
Yeah, this year's kind of hard considering like we know stuff, right? But everything beyond that is just kind of a big old question mark, at least to me. So it makes it a little difficult. But Sam, you can round us out here.
So, my first one was Prime 4, but I have a addition, an elaboration. Is that a word? I'm not sure. To Metroid Prime 4. In that I think when we finally get close enough that we're going to get a trailer, which I think is going to be this year, they're going to also announce the Prime collection for Switch.
Ooh.
So that's my hopes
that's
and
good.
desires is like a Prime collection maybe this year, and a maybe a trailer or just a slight development update for Prime 4. But I don't think the game itself is coming this year. It would be nice.
I could see them doing hey, here's the state of the game right now. While you're waiting, why don't you take
Why
this
don't you
opportunity to
play
to
these?
play the games yourself? Here's
Yeah.
the collection. Because haven't there been
Especially as successful as Dread was.
Yeah.
also haven't they been apparently like quote unquote sitting on that for like 3 years at this point?
Supposedly,
In
yeah.
theory. You know, and that it makes sense that they would want to do kind of one a year if they did Dread in 2021, Prime Collection in 2022, Prime 4 in 2023.
Yeah. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
that would
Do
be a
it
good way
up.
to handle it. My concern, though, with the way you phrase that is now I'm getting flashbacks to Mario's 35th anniversary, where they just here's 3D All Stars. You get it in 2 weeks.
And you only have 2 months.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Except not really,
Supposedly.
because there are so many places that just still have their copies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was weird.
My other realistic prediction was just more value added to Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack.
Yep.
Yes.
Especially because as soon as that everyone goes up for renewal at the same time in the fall, they're going to need to do something to get people to hold back on. It's probably going to be like another free DLC drop or a bunch of new games added or something like Game Boy Advance games or some. I don't know what it's going to be. Who's to say?
They're gonna do something. No, I agree, because my issue with the expansion pack is that, like, for what was it, like, additional $30 basically
Something
to
like
get
that.
Mhm.
N64 games that, like, kind of ran okay, but, like, not entirely, and online, which is mostly fine, but, like, stuff like the Animal Crossing DLC that, like, maybe not everyone's into, it was a choice.
Mhm.
And I know
And
a lot
I
of people had
think-
issue with it.
I know a lot of people they were like, yeah, okay, like it's worth it for at least I'm getting this DLC, which is $25 anyway. They're going to be done with that DLC by next fall, more than likely. So, it's going to like be another real decision for people to renew or not. And they're going to have to drop something big-ish to try and grab on.
It kind of makes me realize, with how well this one game in particular is selling on the Switch, the best way to get your value for the expansion pack is to, kind of like what they did with Animal Crossing, you do that to finally add DLC to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Because so many people have it, so many people would get it.
The game is
no.
almost 10 years old.
I know, it is, and I hope they don't do DLC for it.
Crazy.
Already
But-
2 DLC packs as part of it. They just come out in the cart.
No,
I
like
don't want
you're
more DLC,
absolutely
I just
right.
want a game.
Yeah, I would rather get a new game than DLC, but looking at it as like that would actually sell incredibly well for them if they did it that way.
They're not
Yeah.
going to. I think at this point, it's just
Yeah.
it's more it doesn't make sense to me.
I hate to say it, but I think Tris is probably right.
I really hope you're not. That would be so annoying.
Well, I mean that Tris is right in the way that, like, if that was to happen, it would do really well.
Oh, no,
I'm not saying that
100%.
I would prefer that.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
Like, you're not
much to my
incorrect.
dismay, like it would work.
Like, you're not incorrect. I just don't like it.
It's okay, I don't like it either. I just thought it had to be said.
Fair enough. Understandable. Have a nice day.
I would really like them to drop not DLC, not virtual console games. I want them to drop some other. It can be online only play game like Nintendo Land or
Ooh.
a sports resort,
Oh my
whatever.
god. Nintendo Land or Wii
Nintendo Land makes it
Sports?
worth it.
Nintendo Land or
I
Wii
know
Sports?
everyone would get the
Please,
expansion if
God.
it was Nintendo
Yeah.
Land. That's all it takes.
Nintendo, I'm a simple person. I see Nintendo Land, I see Wii Sports, I'm like, let's go.
Day
I
one.
will, hell yeah.
Yep.
How do you think that they would do the whole, like, what is it? Like, what's the word for the multiplayer that game has? It's like skew something?
What?
Where it's like 1v5 or something?
Oh,
Anyway, how do you think they would do those game modes?
they'd lock it to
The same way.
multiplayer.
Oh,
To
lock
local
it to-
local multiplayer. You need other Switch devices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, you would have some
And the
local multiplayer games and some online-only multiplayer games, probably.
Ah, okay.
Or if it wasn't a free edition, if it was like a purchase game, they'd probably attempt to give you as many options as possible.
Or
Yeah.
make one all
All right,
handheld
I'm
mode.
sold. I'm sold. Say no more.
I just want Wii Sports.
So, I do too. I do too. Especially bowling. My grandma was
Oh
really
Yes,
hell
the
yeah!
bowling.
Bowling was like the best game in that.
That was
line.
so fun.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, I guess it's my turn again. So, now that I have the floor, I feel weird because one of my predictions was actually Mario Kart. I'll talk about it anyway. I think I got some stuff to say. So, Mario Kart 9, right?
Mhm.
There was a pretty popular rumor recently about that game being in development, which obviously I don't really doubt. The most interesting part about this rumor to me, though, I think, was the conversation that followed. Obviously, a lot of us already assumed that the next Mario Kart game probably was already in development, but as far as whether or not we'll see it launch on the Switch alongside Mario Kart 8 or whatever the heck that new twist ends up being remains to be seen. I personally am on the school of thought that I think that whatever this game ends up being probably won't make it onto the Switch just because we're already 5 years in to this console's life cycle
Well,
already.
I think it was only
which-
last year or so they said they're about halfway through the console lifespan in their eyes.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, I don't know. I have a hard time seeing it launching on the Switch. I would love to be wrong, but I don't know. It's really hard to tell console lifespans with Nintendo specifically because there's like revisions
Yeah.
and lights and news and
OLEDs and
OLEDs and all this other stuff that happens during one life cycle. So it's pretty hard to tell, but at least in this case, I think it's possible, but we'll see.
I hope.
Anyway, as unpredictable as it is, I will say that anything is possible because we are living in a time where we've gotten not only new Pokemon Snap, but we've also gotten the Lost Levels. So I think with that, we can safely assume that, yeah, anything is on the table, I suppose. So, as far as what this new twist is, I see a lot of people suggesting that this could mean Nintendo is opening up the roster for Mario Kart beyond just Nintendo characters, kind of like Smash. But I personally believe this new twist, I keep air quoting every time I say that, refers more to its gameplay more than anything else.
Okay.
And as far as that goes, I have no earthly idea what that could even be. But I will say, and I say this every time a new Mario Kart rumor crops up, and that's bring back the Double Dash items.
Yes.
That's
I'm
like the
down.
big thing that I loved about Double Dash. And
Mhm.
even if you look at all of these rumor tweets and everything, all the replies are just filled with, bring back Double Dash, Double Driver, and blah, blah, blah. I wasn't a huge fan of that idea just because I don't really feel like it adds too much. But I think the items themselves were really cool.
Mhm.
If you remember, there was like the big Bowser shell that the Bowser and Bowser Jr. could throw, and like Donkey Kong had the giant banana, and the Koopas had the 3 shells, and all these cool little special items for each character pair was really cool. So I think it'd be really cool to see that
It's like
brought
their
back to
own
Mario Kart
special.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like their ultimate
I
ability or
think
something.
I think that's fantastic too because that really was the best thing to come out of Double Dash. Like as fun and chaotic as like 2 people driving a cart is, it really was the special items. So much so
Yeah.
that I'm probably like one of the few people in the world that still plays it. But the mobile Mario Kart game, Mario Kart Tour, is filled with those. They have
That is
all
true.
sorts of special items, like the Double Dash ones, and then brand new ones on top of those. And they've proven it can work very well in single character format. It doesn't need the Double Dash system. So they've proven it works. I would love to see them actually go through with that in a main new Mario Kart game. Yeah.
It's funny that we've been talking about Mario Kart so much today, and we've only just now brought up Mario Kart Tour. That game is crushing it as far as content
It
goes. What
really
the heck?
is. It really is. And I'm like one of the
Yeah,
few
talk
people in the
about
world that
mobile
defends
content.
it.
Yeah, it's like holiday events, new characters, new skins for the characters,
Mhm.
new tracks, new music. Like, what doesn't that game have? So
Plot?
I think it would be really cool. I mean, just love I asked that and there was nobody answering.
I don't
Can I-
play Mario Kart Tour. I don't know what answer you want from me.
Well, I'm just saying that it exemplifies nothing's missing. That's just like a really good model.
It's even brought
There-
back a ton
yeah.
of characters that have, like Funky Kong, for example. It finally added Kamek after like Kamek being scrapped from 2 different Mario Karts over the last 25 years.
Yeah,
But
seriously.
it has brought back everyone, yeah. Like Petey Piranha from Double Dash isn't back, for example. But yeah, it's
Dr.
done
Baby
a lot.
Wario's not
Yeah,
in
there you go. Dr. Baby Wario isn't here yet.
Dr. Goomba Stack's not in there. There's a couple of them missing. No, so like that model adapted to a mainline Mario Kart game could be really cool. My other prediction, which is one that nobody's brought up yet, which surprises me.
Mhm.
I think 2022 is the year we get a glimpse at a new 3D Mario game,
Ooh.
with the grand reveal being sometime in the summer. Regardless of whether E3 ends up playing out digitally, I think a summertime reveal would be the big reveal that Nintendo is saving for us and would tie in really well with the Mario movie coming out later this year.
Yes.
Anyway,
Oh.
add all that up,
Oh.
and we would have a year with a good amount of Mario, Zelda with Breath of the Wild 2, Kirby with Forgotten Land, Splatoon 3 launching maybe in the summer, and then, of course, we have Pokemon launching in about a week and a half. So if we were to hear about a new Mario game at some point this year, that would check off the last box in my head for Nintendo's big hitters for the year and bring us a year of games that we could only dream of. You know? So I only mentioned this as well because Mario games typically have about 3D Mario games specifically have about a 5 to 7 year gap. In Odyssey turns 5 this year.
Wow.
So
Do we
Just putting that
know
on
that they're
there.
working on another Mario title? Did we have knowledge about like the next 3D Mario being in development?
nope,
No.
we didn't have that
Just
about
a base
Odyssey. I don't
assumption.
believe. As
Okay.
far as
There's
I remember, I
always
don't think
one.
we had any inclination to believe Odyssey was going to be revealed.
No,
Right?
no,
I
I
don't
mean, other than
remember.
the assumption. I don't think so.
I mean, we are technically due for one that's not like a port, so that's fair. I
Yeah.
never finished Odyssey, so I don't have much of an opinion about this.
Alex,
Look, I'm bad at
Finish
beating
Odyssey!
games!
go finish Odyssey.
Yeah, you
What
should
the
probably
heck?
do that.
I should probably do a lot of things.
Even I don't finish video games, and I finished Odyssey, so
Well,
should feel
there you
bad.
go.
Joke's on you, I always feel bad.
now I feel bad.
It's okay, don't.
Guys, it's okay. Don't feel bad because speaking of dreams, right? Speaking of your
Dreams.
dreams, you know, like what
Our
a
dreams and
transition. I
I
hopes
know.
dreamed
and-
to finish
yeah.
video games.
As fun and great. I swear to God. As fun and great as these predictions all sound, the thing about them all so far is that they've all been grounded in reality. That said, for our last segment of the day, we're going to remove all limitations, go around the table, and ask, starting with you, Sam,
Oh boy.
if you were in charge of the whole shebang for the year, what's one game or announcement you'd want to be revealed in 2022? And how would it happen? What would be your dream reveal? Feel free to be as detailed as possible.
My dream reveal would be a new Kid Icarus game on the Switch.
Oh, yeah!
Developed by Sakurai. Like Kid Icarus Uprising is one of my favorite games, bar none, and it would work out so well on the Switch. And I just, please, it'd be great. And you know, it's completely out there because I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to have this on their radar, like be thinking about it, maybe even working on it. But I think, especially if Sakurai was involved in any higher capacity, it would be years away from happening. But if I could have just anything at all, that's the game. And part of the reason I'm at Kid Icarus, like as much as I want that game, is that Nintendo has fulfilled a lot of the things that I wasn't expecting to happen over the past couple of years. Like Pokemon Snap remake or HD was like my dream game for a while. Banjo-Kazooie on Switch was my dream game. Kingdom Hearts on Switch or Sora and Smash were my like all of these things now are happening. So I have to like go down my list of what's the best possible scenario. And now I'm at Kid Icarus.
Man, you're just like, you have this list of wants and you're just checking
Well,
them
I'm
off
kind
as
of
they
thinking
go.
like maybe Nintendo listens to me, so maybe I should just keep saying whatever I want the most. And right now it's Kid Icarus.
Oh, please, by all means, say it louder.
You've willed the others into existence. You got a good track record so far.
Yeah,
There you go.
seriously.
I swear to God,
Um,
if that does get announced this year, I'm just gonna be like, Sam, what
You're
what
welcome.
power, what patron has chosen you?
We are not
Who
worthy.
knows? Who's to say?
So, the funny thing about my dream reveal is that I feel like it's actually pretty tame considering what I could say. But I feel like I'm in a kind of similar boat to Sam here because I campaigned for years to get Mario Galaxy on Switch and we eventually got it. So it's only natural that I do the same thing for this one too. My dream reveal would be to see, specifically, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess playable on the Switch.
Ooh.
Ideally, in the form of a title pending Legend of the Hero collection or something
Ooh.
with what I would imagine being included with the launch of Breath of the Wild 2. So, here's how it will go down, right? Imagine this. One big box that has the game, some cool statue that I'll look at and say that's really cool and then totally pass on it and then regret it years later because I have so many other friends that have one and I just kick myself in my butt every single time I see it. And other goodies. That also includes the games Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and finally, Breath of the Wild and Breath of the Wild 2, thus giving you the ultimate collection of Zelda games on Switch and nearly completing an entire timeline, and scooping up some of the last remaining Wii U games that have yet to be ported to Switch all in one go. It's funny that I said that would, now that I say it out loud, maybe this isn't as famous as I thought it was.
999 USD.
But hey,
I would buy it, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
Listen, if that ever became real, I'd drop money on it so fast. And if anyone at Nintendo or anyone related to Nintendo is listening to this, Reggie, I know you follow me on Twitter. I would buy that in a
Does he
heartbeat.
actually?
So make it
Nintendo's
happen. Yes, to answer your question, yes.
Wow, good for you.
So cool.
Alex, let's hear it.
Well, my dream thing is unrealistic because of the fact that they also exist on the virtual console, and that was going to be for Ocarina of Time and Majora to hit the Switch as remakes.
Ooh.
But the problem is,
join the
why
club.
would they put remakes out if they have it on the virtual console? That's the problem.
Yeah, they could.
Well, you could add Master Quest, right?
Okay, yeah, but like it's still, I don't know.
If it was a distinct enough remake, I could see them still
I would
doing
love them to do that. It would be great. The longer we get through it, the less I see that happening.
3D HD.
3D HD starring Dante from Devil May Cry. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Ocarina of Time 3D HD starring Funky Mode. With Funky Mode.
XL edition.
Light.
OLED.
I could just keep going if you want.
I would if I had any other things to add on to that. I don't know. I would love just to see more all that Zelda stuff on there because some of it's very difficult to see to do. I would love to I think it'd be kind of cool if they wanted to go real deep. Try making the Oracle games on the Switch. That'd be kind of cool.
Ooh.
You make freaking
That's
different
smooth.
versions of Pokemon, have it, and then have like the ability to, if they detect the save file on the Switch of the other game, it'll start doing that interaction, so you don't need passcodes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I
you
that.
could lay the groundwork from Pokemon to do an Oracle pack, and it would totally work.
Especially
So
since they remade Link's Awakening and it's the same art style,
Yeah.
so you could use the new
yeah,
Link's Awakening
you
engine.
you could just talk to Grezzo, who also I think worked on Pokemon. Like, didn't Grezzo do
Did they do Let's
do
Go?
Let's Go?
I don't know. Don't
That's
Hold
what
on,
I
I'm
think.
looking this up.
I want to say they did.
They did not, but
Good try.
I just looked to make sure because I didn't want to like say something and be like actually in the comments.
Yeah.
But like they probably could understand enough about how the Pokemon company does handle all their stuff and figure out how to make that happen. Like it can't be that difficult.
Okay.
So
That would be like your pie in the sky is the Oracle games?
that's about as high in the sky as I can get with the things currently. Because you know what? The other stuff I feel like are more reasonable things. Like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD.
It's
They
not that
can-
much to ask for.
That's-
Yeah, it really isn't.
We're not asking much.
Realistically,
There
mine
are-
is not.
There are 3 Wii U titles that are not on the Switch. Nintendo Land, HD, Wind Waker,
All
and
the
Twilight
ones that I
Princess.
want the most.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X doesn't count.
New Super Luigi U. Thank
Oh, I should have said
Isn't-
Xenoblade
is-
3 for our prediction.
Isn't
Sorry.
isn't that on the Switch already?
you. Yeah, I'm just being dumb.
Fair enough, understandable. But yeah, like, and I don't think we're gonna end up getting Majora or Ocarina because of the fact that there are versions on Virtual Console. So what else could there be? If they're not gonna do Game Boy Advance stuff later in the future and get Minish Cap, why don't we do Oracle? And maybe also the Minish Cap too. I don't know. I'm gonna spitball them. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, you're in charge in this scenario, so throw them in there.
Minish
Wow.
Cap. Let me see emo Zelda villain.
Wow, a
There
full
you go.
Minish Cap remake would actually be incredible.
Let me
Yeah.
just see Vadi in 3D. That's all I want. I just want to see Vadi. He hot.
Jeez. What about you, Christine? What's your dream reveal?
Ooh, so I was thinking maybe a Pokemon Stadium announcement or
Yeah.
because those are one of my favorite games of all time, alongside being announced Pokemon World right next to Nintendo.
Oh my god.
Big
'Cause
dreams.
I think that'd be so awesome. I literally went to Disneyland wearing, my boyfriend wore Eevee ears, and then I wore
Aw.
Alolan Vulpix, and so many people
Aw.
commented on it, and it got me thinking, like, how cool would it be to be like in a Pokemon world where everyone's wearing their favorite Pokemon and
Oh wow.
they have the ears,
I would
and
cry.
it would be so cute.
I would also be
I would
crying.
just-
You know
I would
what?
cry.
I want that. I want all the ears.
Think of all the hats they could sell at that place.
Wait, think
And
of all
I
the
would buy all of
spirit
them.
Think of all the spirit jerseys that they would do.
So many
Right.
Pokemon.
Oh.
One for every Pokemon. You gotta
Oh.
collect them all. That's like $1
Including-
billion.
including
That's
the variants.
800. That's
Including the variants.
800.
Including the popcorn buckets.
Yeah, and like a
Popcorn
shiny
buckets
for
for all
each
of
one,
them.
and the shinies
Oh,
are more
no.
rare, like drops of limited edition. Oh yeah,
Oh
my
no.
Shiny hunting at the store.
shiny hunting spirit
Oh, that's
jerseys.
All of a
dangerous.
sudden, I am significantly more scared of this prospect.
I'm imagining like waiting in line for a popcorn bucket, but like you randomly get the shiny popcorn
The shiny
bucket.
Umbreon popcorn bucket.
Yeah.
That would be so freaking
$10,000
You just have to
on
hope
eBay.
that's the one you end up getting.
Yeah,
I'd be afraid to get tackled.
Oh yeah, basically.
someone would.
Listen,
And imagine
Fight
Pokemon
for the
fans.
popcorn
Go in the
bucket.
theme park. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You say that like we don't already play Pokemon Go at a theme park.
That's true, but this would be
Yeah.
like
That's also
integrated,
true.
you know, like with
The Haunted
Nintendo World, they have
Mansion-
everything, you know, interacting. So,
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
fair. That's fair. It's
Like
like
you
the Haunted
scan your
Mansion's a
phone or
Pokestop,
something.
ma'am.
mhm.
Like,
The
Get a
castle
power-up
is
in.
a gym.
of course it is.
I took over the Pirates of the
Ooh.
Caribbean drum one time, and I was so happy.
I
Oh,
took over
that's
the
awesome.
castle like
Crazy.
4 times when I was waiting for the fireworks, and some kid kept taking it back, and I was real mad.
Go find that kid and kick him and be like, "This is my game, kid."
Get out of here.
Anyway,
That's so funny. Okay, so I like that actually. It's very. Ooh. Mm,
That
I
is
have
incredible.
not played
that's not a
Pokemon
good
Stadium.
idea for my wallet. I like the Pokemon Stadium idea. I would crush all of you in Magikarp Gen.
yeah, I want those mini games. That's my favorite part of Stadium is the mini
Yeah.
games.
Just give me,
Same,
just give me the Magikarp
same.
Festival from Pokken in there, and I'm in.
Wait, now that we have the 64 controller, we could play it authentically.
Ooh.
Wait, why don't they? That could be one of the NSO games.
What the heck?
And
Hopefully.
also,
That's true.
Also, can't they figure out a way to also integrate that with the actual Pokemon Home?
Wait.
Make it happen.
I like where this is
that would be
going.
neat.
Because
All
don't
right.
get
We
me
know-
if I'm
we-
wrong. Is it Pokemon Stadium interact with the actual game through a transfer pack?
I think so.
Mhm.
Yes.
I mean,
They did.
Hmm.
That was the
And-
whole point of the rental
and-
teams.
and-
Because
and
if
we
you didn't
know-
have the accessory, you could use those.
And we know the
Yeah.
original Pokemon Snap is also coming to the NSO at some point. So they could very much do this. We know
Mhm.
Pokemon's paying attention.
Yeah,
Ooh.
right now.
That
Actually.
might be the value added at the renewal period. It might be something like Pokemon Stadium. What?
Jeez.
I'm surprised that they haven't looped Pokemon Home in with the cost of the NSO expansion. It might be too complicated.
I also think it's because they want it to be separate from its own thing because of the nature of it. I think they want it to be a separate because Pokemon is its own entity at this point.
Yeah.
That's true.
Especially when
We
it
don't
has
really
to
think too much
interact
about how they're
with,
different companies.
especially if it has to interact already with things that are all like going as far back as like the DS era, because like the path from
Right.
getting something from the Game Boy Advance cartridge to frickin' Gen 8.
Yeah.
It's a process.
I think they're also still working on home integration just for BDSP, if I'm
Yep.
not mistaken.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I think that should be done soon.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
imagine for both Legends and BDSP, home integration will come out at the same time for both of them.
So probably
makes
like
sense.
early February,
That makes
maybe?
sense. Yeah, I think
Maybe.
that's the slated.
Did they say Pokemon home integration was happening with Arceus?
Mm.
Yes, home integration is supposed to be
Okay.
happening for both of those.
Okay.
That's
Oh.
good.
Okay. Cool. Who's got you? We're missing Amanda and Tris, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, let's hear it, Amanda. Pie in the sky. Let's go. You're in charge.
I mean, if I could have anything, and then it would be a Metroid movie, in which case I play Samus.
Wow.
I mean,
Like
Wait,
Brie
that's
Larson
so
for
good.
that.
I mean, if I could pick
Absolutely.
absolutely anything,
I still
That's
I want to
amazing.
be a
Awesome.
Metroid.
You're gonna.
Can it be a musical?
Can I just
A musical
be a dancing
Metroid.
Ridley?
Yeah, you
I'm
can be
in.
Dancing Ridley. I want to be
Hell
Dancing
yeah. Metroid the
Metroid. I
musical.
want to be. I want to have like a black bodysuit and just the Metroid for my head. I think it would be a really
I
good
want
stage
Ridley
play
to
too.
tap
Just
dance.
say, I'm a
Hell
deuce.
yeah.
Man. Hit me up after Thanksgiving. I can be Craig.
I'll be the beam that you fire from your gun, and I'll just run across the stage.
Like the bullet guy, the bullet person in Hamilton.
and have
Bullet
just like
from
this drapey
Hamilton.
fabric behind you as you run.
Maybe the Hamilton bullet, but also maybe Naruto run.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
so
like
your
how-
whole body is the beam. Just
Bring
I
it to Broadway.
I like how we. Yeah, I was saying I like how we descended from a Metroid movie to a Metroid Broadway show.
I mean, as long as I'm
is-
playing
Let me
Samus,
get
I'm
my-
Amanda's
happy.
still Samus. Yes.
Let me get my equity card. Let's do it. I'm down.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
If Amanda's
go.
in charge, anything's possible.
There we go. Exactly. But I mean, if it was like, okay, as far as games though, I really want a new Star Fox. Like,
Oh,
I love
yeah.
Star Fox so much, and I
Yeah.
want a new one so bad. And you know, Zero had so much potential. It
did.
just
I think
it
Zero
didn't
could
hit
still
it.
work if they changed however the controls were. I think it could still
Mhm.
work on Switch. However, I think at this point they just need to either scrap it and try to do something different, or just go back to the Star Fox 64 controls and just make a new story. Like easy.
Man,
Yeah, I
it's a
mean,
good
that's
thing
what I'd
Yo
be
Schiller's
totally
not
cool
here.
with.
He would hound you for that.
Who? You Schiller?
Yo Schiller.
Yeah. I'm aware.
He's so done with the Star Fox 64 thing. So would your game, Amanda,
Yes.
play like Star Fox Adventures maybe? Or like a traditional Star Fox?
It would play like a traditional Star Fox. I really do enjoy Star Fox Adventures. But I want a new like Star Fox.
Tried and true. Okay. All right. Well, I guess you're the last one in line here, Tris. Let's hear it.
All right. Well, kind of funny. Originally, I had to change this 3 times because it kept getting said. originally, I had the Twilight Princess HC and Wind Waker HC coming, but then after you mentioned your collection, I was like, well, I mean, yeah, that's not very like big dream because we've been all waiting for that for a while. So then I added Remake the Oracle games, and then like next person down the line said that one. I'm like, okay, hold on. So if I can get my dream review of like the perfect thing I would want to see, not to conflict with Breath of the Wild 2, but I would love to see a proper sequel to Wind Waker that felt and played like Wind Waker. So a whole new open sea to explore, make it more open world like Breath of the Wild if you want, and really taking the Toon Link art style, pushing it a little bit further, and making this great big world to really explore, but also keep the perfectly fun cartoony aspects that we all know and love from Wind Waker, especially the selfie mode. That needs to stay.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Would it
true.
lean more towards the gameplay of Breath of the Wild as opposed to like the traditional kind of like style of Wind Waker? Because Wind Waker still has that traditional Zelda formula that Breath of the Wild kind of took and threw out the window.
Yeah, and in my head, it would play more like traditional Zelda, but it would
Okay.
expand. It would expand upon it rather than changing it, which is what Breath of the Wild did.
Gotcha. Okay. That's kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, I like that.
I had to think on it for a while because
Ridiculous.
everything I wrote down kept getting taken. I'm like,
That's so funny. Like, what are the odds? Especially for the Oracle games. Like, what?
I
have
just
such
campaigned for the
habits.
Oracle games for so long.
I didn't have that on my list. I didn't make a list for this. I'm just going off the top of my head.
There you go.
Great minds
Great
think alike.
minds.
Yeah, evidently.
Whoa. Whoa. Twice in a row. All right. And I think that concludes our predictions portion. So to kind of round us out here, I didn't include this on the outline because I just thought of it. We've been talking a lot about Breath of the Wild today.
Mm-hmm.
And we brought it up during last month's episode, but due to some unfortunate tragedies with technical difficulties and things like that, that episode never got published. So we're going to bring it up again now.
Tragedy.
I know, seriously. Breath of the Wild 2. We know a couple of things about it. We've gotten, what is it, like 2 trailers or something? 2?
Yep. Exactly 2.
Yeah.
No
2
more, no
trailers.
less.
So, we're in January right now, and I kind of want to start with Sam here, just because I want to see if her opinions changed at all. When do you think, we're going to ask everyone this, when do you think we'll see Breath of the Wild 2 again? And will it be in a direct, or
Do
just
you
like a
remember
Twitter
what my
post?
opinion was last time? Because I don't remember.
I do.
Oh, really? Okay, so you can tell me if I've changed at all.
I'll tell
I'm
you.
gonna say I think it's gonna be a late 2022 release, probably November, and I think we're gonna get a solid. Oh, you know what? I think it did change because I think probably as early as last month, I was still predicting that we'd be getting a direct in January with a Breath of the Wild trailer. I take that back, seeing as it is now January 18th.
There's still time.
I think
It is
it's
true.
it's
There's still
possible
time.
we could hear something in the next direct, which I'm guessing will be February at this point. But more likely, I'm guessing we're gonna get a trailer, a story trailer, a little bit of gameplay, and a release date for E3.
You think we'll hear the name?
I think we're going to get the name with the story trailer because I think the reason they won't give us the name is because it's somehow connected with the story. So I think they're going to
Oh.
give it to us all at once.
That would be great.
If it's a story trailer, kind of like the original 2017 Breath of the Wild
I love that trailer so
oh,
much.
Man.
So
I will weep beneath the
Yeah.
light of the moon.
Oh, yeah.
I still tear up watching that.
Yep,
I
yep.
love it.
So good.
Same here.
So good. Tris, what do you think? When are we going to see Breath of the Wild again?
As much as I want to see it in like the first direct of the year, because I think that would make the most sense, I feel like they'll have Aonuma come on screen again and be like, "You're gonna next hear about it when we do E3," and like to confirm we'll hear about it later in the year, or he'll at least give us a release date, but only a release date. But our next proper like big trailer for it with like a big focus on everything about it, I think would be during the next like E3 time period, so they could follow it up with a lot of gameplay in like a Nintendo Treehouse section.
Well, I think this might be the one and only time in history I say this, but I hope you're right.
I hope I'm wrong too. Trust me.
Wow. Damn.
I do not want to be right on that, but I'm looking at it. It's like I'm worried that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I could see that. Amanda, what do you think?
I was actually thinking the same sort of thing, that there'll be a direct. I was thinking that I can totally, like, I can see this happening. There'll be a direct in I think there's going to be a direct in February. That's when I think we'll have the next one. And I could totally see Aonuma say, "We are hard at work at the sequel to Breath of the Wild Part 2. Please don't, but we need to take a little more time to show you what we have. And then you can expect more during E3 2022.
Yeah.
And then that's because I'm trying to voice it like whoever it is.
Yeah, the narrator guy.
They should hire you. as
It's really
translator.
good. It's really good.
Yeah, you got the
Thank you.
tone and cadence and everything.
But I could see that happening. But that
geez.
is what I think, and I think it'll be a November release.
See, that's like the third person that said holiday. Okay.
It makes sense.
Well, the reason I think November is because that's around the same time that Ocarina of Time came out. That's the same time around the same time I think Majora's Mask came out, around the same time that Skyward Sword came out. So I'm thinking it's going to be another November release.
Yeah, I can see that.
Got my gears turning.
Plus
You don't think there's going to be another big holiday game that's yet to be announced?
There probably is, but I don't think that they would do Zelda earlier than that because we've got Kirby in March. We've got Splatoon 3 likely in the summer. So they're probably going to use Zelda to round out the year. The only thing I could think, the only potential, I'm not predicting this, but the only way it could be earlier is if Splatoon is in late spring or June, they could put Zelda in August, like they did with Skyward Sword.
Oh, that's true.
I guess so.
But I don't think so. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Alec.
Jeez, I have to wait longer? God. All right. Christine, what do you think? Don't let me down.
Well, I'm going to let you down, but I'm going with
I'm just
Amanda
kidding.
for sure because I think the holiday release just makes sense, especially like profit wise. But my question is E3 going to be in person or
It
is
is
it
digital this
No.
year.
No.
It's been confirmed to be virtual. And then there's like a rumor that it's just not even happening at all.
Oh my gosh! Well,
I-
let's
I'm
not
surprised
go for that one.
I don't think they even confirmed it was going to be digital. I think they just confirmed there won't be a physical. The implication then
Okay.
was digital, but it sounds like Jeff Keighley's kind of rubbing his hands together here, like, okay, all right, Summer Games
So
Fest
come
time.
on now.
Yeah.
Right.
Summer
yes.
Games Fest was confirmed. That
Yeah.
is happening this
Yeah.
year.
I thought they also confirmed that it was going to be a digital event this year. For
I
E3
think
too.
I think it is confirmed as digital. It's just that we don't know the capacity. I don't know if it's going to be full blown. I don't know. Not to go off on a tangent, but I wasn't impressed with how they did the digital event last year.
Yeah.
It
And I
wasn't
think a lot
good.
of developers were also not super happy with it, especially because they have to pay money to do that. Like,
Yeah.
you're just watching is still not impressed. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hope eventually it can be in person because
Yeah.
seeing these announcements, it's nothing compared to the actual live viewing
Mhm.
of the announcement and being in the same room
For
with
real.
people. But it
Yeah.
is what it is.
mhm.
Sadly. I mean, I think I'm kind of with Sam on this one, though. I believe it was like somewhere on Twitter you posted it, but as long as there's still a week or so of period of time, whether it's called E3 or not, where I could just tune in and watch video games get announced, I'm
Mhm.
fine.
Yep.
Mm.
Just
Agreed.
have it all consolidated. It's fine.
Yep.
That's cool. Alex, what about you?
So I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna go towards Amanda's point, but I want to make a couple of things of note. It doesn't necessarily matter, I think, at this point where this goes in terms of announcement stuff, because with something as high caliber of an announcement as Breath of the Wild 2, it can literally be tweeted out and it would automatically hit trending on all fronts. So I don't
Yeah.
necessarily know whether or not Nintendo's worried about when, aside from just being able to do a lot of marketing copy on it.
Yeah.
February announcements would give you a lot more time to do copy,
Yeah.
because at this point, we all should be going into any direct expecting possible news, because at this point, that's what we have. Because I do think that a November release for Breath of the Wild 2 is likely, one, because that's the normal release window, and two, that is the heaviest window for game purchases in general.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So why not
Yeah.
have a highly anticipated game go there? That means a lot of people will be getting it for Christmas and getting it for the holiday season, and that means a lot more sales. People will be grabbing Switches. People will be grabbing that. It makes a lot more sense on a business end, in that regard, for to do that kind of release window. In terms of when, because generally the direct cycle is they'll do one in February, one at E3, one in September, and then if there are either indie mini directs or Pokemon doing their own thing scattered a little bit during the year. But if we're going off of second week of February getting a direct, we might see info there, or if anything, that story trailer. We might see more gameplay footage and a little bit deeper stuff in June. And then we just start getting copy and information going through until November. So if we start seeing any major copy, we could start seeing things as early as February. It won't start wrapping up probably, if it does happen this year, until June. But because they're not going to just give us a thing and say, hey, 3 months, go, on a game like this. They're going to give you the ability. They're going to want to market it hard.
Yeah.
Because it is one of their more iconic, it's one of their biggest franchises, and it's a Switch seller.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But they could pull a Breath of the Wild 1, which was, they did give us 2.5 months of having an actual trailer.
Counterpoint, though, we had information about that before, because
but we have information about Breath of the Wild too. Also,
we had a lot more information about Breath of the Wild from E3 2016 and
that's
Game
true.
Awards gameplay.
We did.
That was the
we
last
also
piece
had
of the puzzle.
we had played it.
Yeah, that trailer at the end with getting us that release date was the last piece of that puzzle. We don't know where the process we are in.
I hope they don't do this, but I wonder if they would do something like, here's some gameplay, like we're going to tell you a little bit more about Breath of the Wild 2 at E3, and then like not give us a release date until some awful, like give us a month to prepare.
Oh,
I don't think they do that.
I don't think they would do that.
I don't think
they would.
Special or collector's editions, you need the time to make sure you have all that stuff. So that's why I don't think that's entirely likely in this case.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're going to have editions for it.
That was announced earlier. Right.
Yeah, everything was announced prior to it. And I'm looking...
I guess I'm just like, I'm in retrospect baffled by how long they waited to give us a story trailer for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Well,
in retrospect now, I'm like, oh god, like we got that really late.
We did. And the thing is, we don't know how much we're going to really get in terms of gameplay stuff, because if they're just building off of the mechanics of Breath of the Wild, then we kind of already know how this game's going to play from the jump. So they may not necessarily need to do that much, maybe to show a area of the newer mechanics that are there. It's hard to say, but we're not going to... I think we're at the beginning of the marketing campaign for Breath of the Wild 2. It's really going to depend on where they decide to really start their campaign, and that's going to be the big deciding factor. But I'm going to still say we're looking at a November 2022 release, if not maybe an early 2023, if anything is causing a delay. But I'm going to say probably November.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to be a summer game, especially if it's going to compete with something like Splatoon. It's too early in the year, and it's not enough time for us to get enough information for anything else. So it would have to be closer to November into December. Probably mid-November, like before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would you bet your crackling oat bran on that?
I don't... No. You'll take that crackling oat bran from my cold, dead hands. No, I mean, realistically looking at, because I've been looking at a lot of stuff in digital media because I'm going to grad school for it, but like seeing the trajectory and seeing what they've done before, this trajectory, what they're doing kind of makes sense to me.
Mm.
So it's hard to say.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I like that you're looking at it from a business standpoint too.
Can you tell I've been knee deep in master's degree work? Ha!
Just a little. I think it's showing just a little. All right. Does anybody have any closing thoughts before we wrap up here?
I have two. One is,
All right,
did we
let's hear
forget to mention in the intro list, Advance Wars is coming in a couple months?
Wait, did that not release?
No.
When
just
that?
clicked in my brain.
It's
I thought that
April.
released in December.
No, it got delayed to April.
Yep.
Oh.
That's right.
So that's another
did not
spring
even
game.
realize that. I have been really out of the loop,
That's another-
apparently. Dang.
Yeah, that's another spring game. In my mind, I was like, oh yeah, it came out in December.
Yeah,
I forgot about
that one.
Because around the time it got delayed, they then had Big Brain release around the same as that time. So in our heads, like, oh yeah, Nintendo released their thing. Well, no, they announced a new thing and released it then.
And there's so much other stuff going on. I think so many people were relieved. They're like, it's okay.
Yep.
Like, I'll play it in the spring. It's fine.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing is, and I'm sorry that this is not like 100% Nintendo, but I'm really just... I need Genshin Impact to release on the Switch this year because I'm going to lose it if I have to keep playing this thing on my phone.
Why is it
Come
not
on.
on Switch
They said
already?
it's coming
That's
soon,
weird.
right?
It's been announced for Switch since before its launch, and here we are still waiting.
Wow.
I wonder what's keeping
before
it.
its launch.
Since before Genshin Impact's launch, not Switch
Yeah.
launch.
I wonder what's holding it then.
That was a while ago.
I don't know.
You can't possibly think of what that is all about.
They got
Interesting.
the money for the development, so chop chop,
So-
miHoYo.
Would that let you link it to
Yeah, all of
any
their
other-
systems so far are crossplay compatible. So
Well, the PlayStation one isn't, right? Or did
no,
they
it
add
is
that?
now.
Okay.
You have to like set it up a special way because Sony, but
Yeah.
it should be fine with the Switch.
Okay. Well, that's good. All right. And I think that's going to do it for today's discussion. Thank you so much to everybody for joining me for this year's first episode. I really appreciate y'all.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for
We
having
appreciate
us.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us on.
No worries. Thank you guys
It was
for
a lot
being
of fun, as always.
such a fun panel. I love you guys. All right.
Aw.
I'm going to do my best to make sure that this podcast is run on a monthly basis and gets regularly updated over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That way you can listen to these discussions in whichever way you prefer. Anyway, we're pretty much at the end here, but before we go, I wanted to take a second, go around the table one last time, and give each of you 5 seconds to tell us about yourself and where our listeners can find you on the internet, starting with you, Alex.
Hi. You can find me at Luca_Starks on most places, mostly Twitch and Twitter. I play video games poorly, do a lot of randomizer stuff, and I do things.
Sick. Let's hear it, Christine.
Hey, I am GandaKris on the internet. I do a lot of DIYs for Nintendo and Pokemon and Square Enix and all that stuff. I also game. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, pretty much anywhere. So,
Wow, it's a lot of places.
yeah. Don't ask how I do it all. I have no idea.
Jeez. Sam, let's hear it.
I am NintendoFanGirl. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and I talk about Nintendo things and I play Nintendo things. And along with GandaKris, I am a Nintendo brand ambassador, so that's real fun. And that's me. Ta-da-da-da.
Amanda, where can you?
You can find me on Twitter at AmandaVanHiel, on Twitch at Panda Princessa, and then I host Zelda News on Zelda Universe TV on YouTube, and I host the Shine Sparkers podcast, and then I also just show up places.
Like here. You know,
Exactly.
how did you do that? This is totally off topic. How did you do that last Zelda news segment being in the condition that you're in?
I don't know. I don't know how.
Fair enough.
I was finally starting to feel better because I had gotten to the point where I was only on one antibiotic instead of 2, but the one is one I'm apparently allergic to now that I have a weird rash from it. And my airways were starting to constrict.
Oh no.
Nice. Well, we're glad.
So
you're
I mean,
feeling
it has
better,
been one
so.
thing after another. I don't know how I did it. I really don't.
Just speaks to your talent. Tris, round us out.
Yep. You can find me on social media, mainly Twitter at ToonTris, or you can find the content I make over on Game Explain. And I'm also indie game developer, and you can find links to that on my Twitter too.
Sweet. I will drop all the links to everybody's stuff down in the description
Wow.
below. And
Thank you.
with that concludes our discussion. Once again, if you're still watching or listening, thank you for making it this far, and I look forward to hearing you guys' thoughts in the comments and the Discord and all the other places. We'll be back next month for some more discussion, but for now, there's only one thing left to say before we take off, and that is, of course, as always, I'm alecandstuff. Do your best out there. I'm rooting for you, and I will see you all again real soon. Bye!